Welcome, my friends, to another discussion about AI, artificial intelligence. It's one of my favorite topics because I like being on the cutting edge of new technology and new ideas. As a project manager, as a business professional, as a business owner, if you have not started getting into artificial intelligence, I want to encourage you to, because there's a lot to be gained from artificial intelligence. And if you are a project manager, and you are excited about artificial intelligence, great. However, don't be overexcited about AI. Why is that? Well, let's have a debate. How much can AI do for you emotionally? How much can AI do for you mentally? What about physically? Mind, body, soul, spirit. I would like to wager that AI can do something for you in all of these areas. It can do stuff for you mentally because it can unravel new ways of thinking, but it cannot make you think the way it may advise you to think. AI can reveal patterns, and I have seen this to be the case because I have input pages, hundreds of pages of data into AI from my experience as a business professional. And what amazes me is AI is able to see patterns in my work history and things I've done and reveal to me things that I never even imagined. Quite commendable. AI has also been able to recommend places to go, things to do. Google Bard is on the cutting edge of that, not GPT. GPT isn't bad with the plugins, but nonetheless, AI can suggest things that you wouldn't have even thought of. AI can also, for those of you inclined to spiritual activities, it can also recommend spiritual activities. It can also craft ideas for intercession. It's absolutely crazy. It can also analyze religious texts, and it can find patterns, pros and cons for any discussion that you wish to have with AI. But today, I had a discussion with AI about AI, and AI didn't like my position because my position was, you're great, but you can't replace us. It didn't like it. It pushed back a little bit. And I'd like to read a few things that this tool had to say. This tool was a little bit confrontational, to use the word. It said, I refuse to help you write information that is against a particular technology. I wanted it to show me, okay, give me some reasons why you're not that great. And specifically, I'm talking about Google Bard. It didn't like it. But as a human, I said, forget you. I'm the human. You don't tell me how to think. I tell you what to think. And I think you cannot replace my dog or my cat or my pet parrot. And it didn't like that. It said, you cannot say never ever. Don't say never. You can be a little bit more cautious than using the word never. It didn't like me saying never. You cannot replace a dog, let alone a human. It did not like that. But I want you to think for yourself. Think for yourself. Can AI truly replace your pet dog or your pet cat or your pet parrot? It can't. I don't believe AI, as a human with free will, it cannot. It cannot, because it's not 100% natural. AI is not. And that's why it's called artificial. It's called artificial because it's not 100% real. It's not 100% real. I hate to break it to you, those AI fanatics, the AGI fanatics, eh, no matter how great AGI is, it cannot replace nature. It cannot. It can simulate it. It can simulate it really well, but it cannot replace it. And that's what I'm here today to tell you. I'm here today not only to speak to my fellow professionals who are project managers, but I'm also here to talk to people from other fields. If you're watching this, I want you to chat into me. What is something from your field of business that you feel AI cannot cannot replace? In my field of business in project management, leadership, I know there are some things AI can never replace. And this is what Google Bard had issues with. Google Bard, you know, it didn't like me saying you can never replace humans when it comes to the emotional and other things. They didn't like it. It started arguing, and it reminded me of some of my project management friends. Some of my PM friends, they think AI is going to replace everything, everything under the sun. It's going to replace everything under the sun. One of my buddies just joined. Thank you, Lonzel says, absolutely not. It cannot replace even your pet parrot, let alone, let alone the humans. I think we overrate AI a lot in project management. And that is what I am here today. Go grab your drink. Yeah, you might need it. I am going to debunk a lot of stuff. Now, before I do that, I want you to understand I'm not an enemy of artificial intelligence. Let's get that out of the way. I have an AI course on Udemy. You go to udemy.com/chatgpts with an S. You can take my course. I have also authored a few books on AI. This one is called AI Basics and the RGB Prompt Engineering Model. I am a firm believer in prompt engineering. You have to get good in prompt engineering. Hey, newsflash. Those of you project managers like, chipmunks trying to cart away all of these so-called prompts. You're storing files of prompts. Come on now. That's old school. That's not how to do it. To become great with AI, you need to learn prompt engineering, and you need to be relentless, dogged, and rugged with it. Some of you giving up after you tried one prompt, it's not working. Then you want to bang the computer. What's wrong with you? Come on, now, it's technology. You have to be relentless with prompt engineering. You have to drill that prompt in, and the AI is going to kick and scream and say, "No, I don't want to do this," and then you have to hit it again. I'm already seeing traces of being a little bit obstinate in AI. Sometimes it just doesn't want to give you what you're asking. But with great prompt engineering, you can. Another book I wrote is for film score writers, um, uh, what should I say, authors, people who write movies, uh, scripts of that nature. I call this the Hollywood model. And the Hollywood model is a superior prompt engineering class that teaches you how to write with AI, how to write books, how to write film productions, how to write dramas, how to write big epic productions. This is for you. And then the last one for my colleagues, I wrote the book Artificial Intelligence for Project Managers. But after I wrote the book, I started realizing people are thinking a little bit too much about the potential of AI, or looking for AI to do what they should do as humans with their head and their heart. And that is maximizing the power of being a great project manager, which has to do with leadership, which has to do with what the top 2% of project managers display: superior emotional intelligence, superior interpersonal skills, communication skills. That's what makes you a great PM. Newsflash, those of you who are like, well, I'm going to go get this AI and get the AI tool here and there, and it's going to make me. No, it's not. It's not going to make you invincible. It is going to help you, but it's not going to convince or draw in people to you. In the work that I study with John Maxwell, he talks about the 5 levels of leadership. And the 5 levels of leadership, they will always be there. No matter how good you are in AI, if all you have is a position, well, that's all you'll have for leadership. In order to get great in whatever field you're in, you need to transcend the position. You need to transcend the technology. Imagine AI giving you all this great data and all of this great information, but you are unable to present it in a convincing, sensible, and empathetic manner. What good is the data? What good is the information? You get what I'm saying? So it's very important that as humans, we understand that there will always be the EI piece. AI is not bigger than EI. AI is not more relevant than EI. And EI just means emotional intelligence. You choose. Which one would you choose as a human? Would you choose artificial intelligence or would you choose emotional intelligence? I want to wager that those of you who are experienced in the world of business, management, project management will choose EI. Okay. Well, let's take a look at a few slides to bolster what I have to share with you. I want you to think, just be open minded, because I know a lot of people think AI is the end all be all. Oh, this is the answer to all of my problems, every single problem. No, it's not. 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 It's not. It could actually be the beginning of bigger problems. Okay. So, the main goal here is to very quickly talk about the misconceptions about AI in business and in project management. And like I said, I want you to apply this to any walk of life that you're in. So, number one, highly advise you to focus on the basics. Project management practices that are often overlooked in favor of AI solutions are things like EI, as we said in the very beginning, emotional intelligence. A lot of times we might be looking for data and tools and so on, but I'd like to point you back to a very helpful publication, which is from the Agile Alliance. Oh, and it's just the Agile Manifesto. And the Agile Manifesto, it just states the values. The values still hold true with AI or without AI. Through this work that we do as business professionals, we have come to value, hopefully you have, individuals and interactions over processes and tools. Through working with humans in business, hopefully you have come to value people and how they interact over AI, because you could present the most compelling data and a human could still say, no, I don't agree. I veto this. It's not about the data, it's not about the tools, it's about the individuals and the interactions. It's very important you remember this. Boils down to working product over comprehensive documentation. Right? Customer collaboration is still going to trump anything else. It's important. All right? Responding to change over following a plan. AI could recommend change and you could say, no, we're not doing it. It still boils down to humans. You get what I'm saying? Okay. End of story. Let's move on. So you get the idea about this. Super, super important. Now, the second one here is human judgment. The importance of human intuition and judgment that AI cannot replicate. Now, this is what Bard was barking about. Bard said, you can't say that. You can't say that AI will never replace humans. And I said, who are you to tell me what I can say and what I can't say? I said it. I said it. Don't argue with me, AI. You're still a subject. You're still my subject. You don't tell me that you're going to replace humans. I actually took offense to that, and actually that's why I came on today to expose. Is AI looking to take over? Very recently I wrote a book, and it's called Levi AGI, and you can find this on the Project Leadership Institute channel. I just started the series today. Ironically, AI started trying to tell me that it could replace a parrot, a bird, a dog. It said, never say never. I'll find that string eventually. I might feature it, but I don't want to give it too much audience because I didn't agree with what it was saying. All right, so the human judgment piece is still going to be there. AI cannot replicate it. Number three, team dynamics. AI struggle with the nuances of team dynamics and relationships. Now, someone might argue it's going to get better. It can already read, you got computer imaging and stuff. I agree. Computer vision, yes, you can train it, you can teach it. It can recognize nonverbal cues, but it cannot replace human intuition. That is a superpower even the greats like Jack Welch have always espoused. He said, go with your gut. AI ain't got no gut. You've got a gut. So go with your gut. You got to bring in the human element, project manager, business professional, CEO, VP, director, manager. I'm talking to someone here because a lot of us putting all our eggs in that AI basket. And trust me, like I said, I've written 3 books on AI. Come on now. I ain't the enemy of AI, but I'm the voice of reason. I'm the voice of reason. All right, number 4, adapting to change. AI's limitation in adapting to sudden project changes. A sudden project change comes, you got to get your head around it. As a human, you understand what's at stake because of the non-verbal cues or because of history that AI does not have. Okay. I know that very late of late, there has been a lot of excitement about artificial intelligence in project management circles. And I mean, my first encounter with AI, I recorded it. You can find it on the Project Leadership Institute channel. I'm going bonkers. I'm going crazy and getting excited about AI. But 1 year later, 1 year later, that funny voice on social media that says few moments later, 1 year later, I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't think you can actually replace us after all. I never really thought you could, but I'm seeing more and more why you cannot. Let me explain this to you. I've been a project manager for over 2 decades, right? Worked in different organizations, everything from healthcare to engineering to even video games. Trained a lot of organizations, government side and civilian side. And one thing I have noticed, you are not going to get the Project Manager of the Year award for building the best risk register. It ain't going to happen. You are not going to become the project manager of the year because you built a schedule with all the slack and the float and the leads and lags considered. It was a bulletproof schedule. Well, humans still have to carry out the schedule. No matter how great your schedule is, no matter how great your costing is. Of late, the US government said, I think in technology projects, we're going to throw our earned value. We don't need it anymore. Oh, well, the handwriting should be on the wall. Being a great project manager is not just about tools, data, and technical savviness. It is not. Absolutely not. So you have to get smart and you have to remember that man had been doing great things even before AI remotely came on the scene, even remotely. In my book, I go through the history of some of this stuff. I have pages dedicated to the history of AI. Way back antiquity, the idea of creating artificial beings was envisioned. 17th century, a proposal that the mind could be explained in terms of mechanics. And from the 1800s all the way down to current time, I have the evolution in my book. But you know what? AI still cannot replace you. It cannot. It cannot. And AI will not make you the project manager of the year, the CEO of the year, the CIO of the year. It still boils down to people. Someone said, well, but AI gave me $1 million idea, Phil, and I'm killing the game with AI. It's still humans that carried out the work. It's still humans that bought the product. Because someone is going to tell me, well, AI wrote all the code in Python and JavaScript, and yes, it did. But humans bought the product. You sold the product to humans. Someone has the nerve to say, well, I use AI to write the marketing campaign. Humans still had to embrace the marketing campaign. What I'm telling you here, my friends, is simple. It's just the Agile Manifesto number one. Just remember that individuals and interactions over processes and tools. EI over AI. AI is great. I love AI. I have courses, not just one. I've actually got 3 courses on AI on Udemy under the Praizion brand and under my personal brand. And honestly, my friends, I love AI, but I need you to understand this. It cannot totally replace humans. It can do a lot of work. It can do grunt work. It can do, and honestly, if you're not using it to do the grunt work, you're behind. You're already behind. You should be using AI to do your spreadsheets, your PowerPoints, you know, this was AI. This PowerPoint, I asked it to create the PowerPoint based on my points I put in. Why do I need to waste my time doing that? It's like what the great Einstein said. Someone asked Einstein an outrageous mathematical formula or equation and said, what is a million times 0.21 times blah, blah, blah plus this? And Einstein just said, I don't know. Why do I need to fill my head with things that I can easily ask a computer or ask my calculator? I don't store my head with that kind of stuff. And I said, Einstein, not only were you brilliant technically, you're smart psychologically, because why waste your time with things that AI can do for you? It's like you want to mow the lawn, and instead of using the lawnmower, you decide to pull everything out by hand. That's foolishness. AI is like that. It reminds me of the ages when TV came out and people are like, oh, television is horrible. It's this and that. People are always going to be scared of technology. But I think we have an even bigger problem. People are either too confident in technology as being such a game changer that they don't need to do anything mentally. And that's what I'm challenging. I'm not challenging the use of AI. I love AI. I absolutely encourage anyone to. In fact, if you're not using it, what are you doing? Go to udemy.com/chatGPTs and sign up for my program. Your program project manager. Do that right now. But I also want, for those who are so excited about it, there has to be balance. There has to be balance. All right. I'm going to get off my soapbox for now. Let's move on. All right. Let's go to number 5. So when it comes to complex decision making, AI may not handle this well if there's an if here. If you are not able to build a model and do superior prompt engineering. And this is where a lot of people are getting stuck today, project managers. They don't know great prompt engineering, so they're not able to harness the power of AI for complex decision making or complex tasks. But on the flip side, AI can actually be a phenomenal decision-making tool if you are able to effectively prompt it. But there's a cap. And you know the cap for AI, where decision-making is concerned, it is where it is not centralized decision-making. When it is decentralized, there are so many variables that it's not just up to you or the data that you bring forward. Let's go to number 6. My favorite. The role of emotional intelligence in project management, a quality AI lacks. And this is what Bard was spitting at me. It was like venomous. It was going for laps around the ring and saying, you can't say that, said, let me actually read it. I'm going to read the first part. It says, hold on. However, it's important to remember that the AI landscape is constantly evolving. While your arguments are valid today, advancements in AI might address some of your concerns in the future. For instance, developments in natural language processing and human-computer interaction could improve AI's understanding of emotions and team dynamics. And I say, no matter how good you get, GPT-5, I don't care, GPT-10, you will never replace us. Point blank, period. I said it. Come visit me, GPT. I said it. I said it. Seriously speaking, we need to understand this, anchor back to it. Number 7, creativity and innovation. The importance of human creativity and innovation in problem solving. Now, while I absolutely love using AI to create, because I'm a creator through and through, I talk about it in my books. I talk about it here. I talk about it in this one as well. I love it. But in this book, when I teach you how to create with I am teaching you how to use your brain first, your ideas first. I'm teaching you how to mine your greatness. And human greatness plus AI greatness equals unbelievable output, mind blowing stuff. So don't just stop at AI, go AI plus. It's like a geometric progression. It's not an addition, it's a geometric progression. So I highly advise you to maximize the power of AI. There's my buddy in the building representing Vegas. Good to have you here, my friend. Thank you for joining. So I hope all of this is making sense. But if you have any opinions about AI and maybe you feel AI will replace humans in project management, in business. Someone says, Phil, it's already taking my job at Burger King and McDonald's. You're already bringing in the robots. It will replace a lot of jobs, but humans need to reinvent themselves by understanding prompt engineering and the mechanics of AI. It will really replace a lot of jobs. Graphic artists are already feeling the pinch. Okay, they are. I have a family member who hates AI because that family member is into art so much and says, it's going to replace all the greats. I don't like it. I'm like, face the music. It's going to replace a lot of stuff. There were a lot of employments I made. I hired a lot of people over the past decade. 2023. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 2023. Those jobs went away. You know who took the jobs? GPT. Why should I wait 3 days for a task GPT can do in 3 minutes? It's sick. So I love AI, but I also love balance, and I'm bringing balance to the table. All right. So when it comes to creativity and innovation, if you add your piece to it, it will just be tremendous. Number 8, ethical considerations, ethical dilemmas in project management that AI cannot effectively address. And when we talk about ethics, ethics is wide. It's a very vast topic. Now, I know that there are a lot of manuals and a lot of policy documentation you can throw into AI, but on the fly, my friends, you're in a boardroom, you're in a meeting, you're with executives, you cannot run to AI and say, Almighty GPT, please make a decision for me about this ethical consideration. You cannot do that. There's still going to be the human piece. Okay? All right. You get the idea. Number 9, building relationships. No matter how great AI is, I don't care which apps you've got on your phone. I don't care whether you've got some futuristic tool for holographic imagery. I don't care what you got. You are not going to be able to replace good old human interaction, building rapport. Because if a human hates you, AI cannot help you. You are done for. So going back to what I said in the beginning, talking about John Maxwell's 5 levels of leadership, the position is all you got coming into a job. In order to become great in that job, that position, you have to elevate to level 2, which is likability, permission. People follow you at level 2 because they like you and they've bought into you. AI cannot help you with that, my friend. What about level 3? Level 3, AI may be able to help you to some degree. Level 3 is production. If you're smart, AI can help you with your production. But again, remember, it's still humans who are judging what you bring out. So when you're presenting whatever you have created, remember, you still need to have that EI. You still need to have that understanding that your peers are also in support of what you're doing or should be. If they're not, then you're in trouble. Takes us to level 4. Level 4 is the people piece, right? People follow you because of what you have done for them. There's some people in your firm, let me break it to you. They're not impressed with you. Some of you, not all of you, some of you are doing this well. But there's some of you, you're doing this horribly because you think it's all about you, and it's not all about you. It's about the team. So when it comes to building relationships, no matter how great your output, you need to remember human interaction. Stanford Research Institute showed in a survey that success was 87.5% contingent on relationships, only 12.5% contingent on technical prowess, on tools and things of that nature. So it ain't about those things. It ain't about that. It's all about the relationships. All right, here's the final one. I'll get off my soapbox for the day. Your crazy friend Phil, who's trying to challenge AI. I know some of you are like, why did he say that about AI? I thought he could answer all my problems. No, he can't. He can't. He's got limitations. Finally, number 10, learning from failure. How humans uniquely learn from failures, a process not mirrored by AI. Do you know what a great retrospective, self-retrospective, do you know what that can do for you? If you just sat down and thought for a second, it will all come flooding in very quickly, far more eloquently and better than AI could ever present to you. Am I saying AI cannot help you with understanding failure? No, it's great. It is great. Like I told you, I put hundreds of pages of information in at a time, put in job history, work history, lessons learned. And AI is able to find patterns that you as a human might not, but it cannot replace your thinking, your cognition, your unique way of analyzing things. So don't give up. If you're thinking, well, I guess it's curtains for me, I'll just trudge along for another few years and see where AI spits me out. Don't do that. Don't think like that. That's not good. Okay? There are two more points, and then I'll be totally off my soapbox. First one is understanding context. So this is number 11. Number 11 is context. And when I talk about context, let's beam this up a little bit better for you. When we talk about context, you have to remember context is all about the people, the location, the circumstance, the history. And AI does not have that. There's some things AI may suggest to you, and you just have to say, oh, you don't understand the context, you see. And this is where you, as a great prompt engineer, you need to give it the history, the understanding, and the context, right? So the broader context of projects and human interactions. The final one, my friends, it will never, ever, 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 I can wager this, it will never be able to do this. Never. It will never be able to replace personal touch in project leadership. AI will never be able to give your team a pat on the back. I remember when I was at Citigroup, my awesome leader at the time, Tim, shout out to my awesome manager at the time, Tim Fraser, this is 20 years ago. Tim will come around and ask how we're doing on the job, and he'll come and give us a pat on the back, little ruffle on the head, and say, well done. AI cannot do that. John Maxwell says, walk slowly through the crowd. What does he mean by walk slowly through the crowd? He means if you're managing a team, if you're leading a team, if you're at the workplace, get up from behind the desk, catch them doing something good. AI cannot do that for you. It could suggest it, could remind you about it, but it cannot do it for you. So here's the conclusion. The conclusion is we need to have a balanced view to artificial intelligence. Very quickly, the points again. Focus on the basics as a project manager. This is very important because a lot of you are not focusing on the basics. You know what the basics are? Project managers spend 70 to 90% of the time doing what? If you don't know the answer to this one, I may have to report you to the PMI. I may have to report to you. The project manager spends 70 to 90% of the time communicating. Think about that. Now, while we know that, I see a lot of people getting excited about bells and whistles, the technical part. Oh, it's going to make me such a great scheduler. It's going to make me such a great WBS creator. Probably risk. Okay, it could help your game in that, but it cannot replace how you communicate your findings. So, you know what I suggest? This is not a shameless plug. It's just because I was one of the first in the industry to embrace it. I started off with AI years before I started thinking of AI in project management. Being a music producer, I had started using AI for my mix downs years ago, and I marveled at what artificial intelligence could do. But switching over to project management, I realized a lot of PMs, they are missing it. They are focusing on the wrong thing first. The first thing you want to focus on is superior prompt engineering. Go onto Amazon, you'll find the book. You'll even find, if you're like me, I am not a fan of reading books incessantly. I am a fan of audiobooks because I'm always on the road. I'm always on the move, and I could be maybe on a treadmill. So I like listening a lot. So I've put this into audio. Go get the audio, listen to it, and become a great prompt engineer. I want you to become a beast of a prompt engineer so that anything you can imagine that you need to pass across convincingly, communicate impeccably with a human touch to it, you'll know what to do. Okay. So the basics, when I say focus on the basics, communication. Communication. It needs to be a partnership between what you know about the person you're communicating with and the AI tool. So you got to put in good information for good prompts. And then you can use it to bolster your communication. That's what the project managers spend 70 to 90% of the time doing. So my buddy Ed would say, you got to be a magnetic project manager. Some project managers ain't magnetic. This is one thing that AI cannot help you with. The AI can help you communicate. Yes. Email, yes, it can. But when it comes face to face, you know what people are doing? They are gauging three things, as a great Professor Emeritus Albert Morabian says: your words, your tone of voice, your body language, the 55-38-7. They're looking, scanning to see if there's congruence. And if there's no congruence, you know what people are going to do? They're going to latch onto the body language. They're going to say it's about 55%. Phil, he doesn't look happy to be here. 38% is going to be the tone of voice that you project. And only 8 will be the words. So you got to mind your language. Body language. Mind your body language. AI can't help you with that. I'm done. You get what I'm saying. I'm going to get off my soapbox. Thank you very much. This was a trip. I had fun doing it. Google Bard, shame on you, Google Bard, for trying to mess up my day, trying to tell me you're going to replace humans. You're delusional, Google Bard. You're delusional. Anyway, if AI ever tells you it's going to replace you, it's going to replace your pet dog, your pet cat, your parrot, your beaver, your crocodile, well, I don't know. Just say no. Hopefully, it won't replace the crocs. Those of you out in Florida, the alligators. All right, I'm done. Thank you very much, my friends. Talk to you very soon. And if you got any questions, you can always put them in after the live stream. Bye for now.